So I've had an interesting experience, I think, over the last 24 hours or so, which was that I think what happened was when I when my neighbor came home, like for lunch or whatever. He tends to come home for lunch, and then I said, "Time to get high on marijuana." Like I said that out loud because I was live streaming, and then I think he heard me and he didn't smoke, and then I think. I honestly think that this is for the first time, since he has been living here in 3 months or so, that I didn't get high on secondhand weed smoke. Um, and suddenly I went back to my normal self, and I remembered what it was like to not be high on marijuana constantly. Um, and, for starters, when I'm not high on marijuana, I fucking hate myself. I just constantly think I hate myself. I do not wanna be alive anymore. Just over and over, like, kinda thing, which is okay. It sounds terrible, and a lot of people would say, "Well, if that's how you feel when you're not high on weed, then maybe you should be high on weed." Um, but then what happens is that, for starters, I have to go outside. I have to get exercise. I have to go for a walk. And then I have to like solve my problems in life. Like I have to make a list of the problems that I have and think through them and solve them. And then I have like a good idea and I get really excited about that idea. And then I'm just hyper focused on that idea. And that is the whole process that happens over and over again. So I'm either like making really good progress on something and really like hyper focused on it, or I'm miserably depressed. There's no in between. But when I'm high on weed, I'm just like kind of generally happy and goofy, but I'm not actually like getting anything done or aware of. I'm not. Well, I mean, I actually do get a lot done because I have crack energy, but I don't focus on the problems and solve them. Well, normally, it's like first I get happy and then I just do a bunch of stuff when I'm on weed. When I'm not on weed, it's first I get really unhappy, then I solve my problems, then I get happy. But there is a period where I'm just like tossing and turning and like incapable of, and I felt it this morning. I felt, it's my favorite thing to do normally is wake up early and walk, take like a 3 mile walk to a coffee shop and then get some coffee in me and then write down all of my things. And I felt that like I haven't felt that feeling in a long time where I'm like, wake up, go, time to go, get outside, gotta get outside, gotta get a walk in. And then, I think what happened is my neighbors woke up and they started smoking weed, and then I got, like, goofy and happy, and I stopped thinking about how I don't wanna be alive anymore, and then I wanted to make a live stream, which is the thing when I'm only I always live stream when I'm high. Like, I really wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't hi like, if I'm not high, I don't like to live stream, like, I'm, like, self-conscious. When I'm high, I become, like, so autistic that I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks of me. Was what I was noticing yesterday as I was like, "Oh, I feel like I'm my old self, my normal self for the first time in a really long time." And I realized like my normal self really cares about influencing the behavior of others. You could even say controlling the behavior of others and controlling how they perceive me or like influencing how they perceive me. And my like on marijuana self doesn't give a shit about that at all. So Um, I don't know what to make of that exactly. But that was I mean, yesterday you could just because sometimes, when with the marijuana, sometimes I have to go take a walk because my heart is racing or something like that is happening. Like, physically feel terrible, and I have to, like, walk it off. But, like, under normal circumstances, I don't physically feel like I have to go for a walk, but in terms of, like, emotionally, anxiety-wise, I have to go for a walk. I have to solve my problems. And I didn't even I hadn't had that experience in a long time. Um, but that is normally the way I operate. Like, I'm just dying of anxiety, and then I go outside and I go for a walk, and as I'm walking, I'm thinking, like, "It's never gonna be okay. Like, nothing is ever gonna be okay. I'm never gonna solve these problems. I'm never gonna figure anything out. I'm never." And then, like, slowly but surely, like, then, like, a little thought will come into my brain about, like, "Oh, like, I should have done this, or I should have done that." Like, something usually about, like, coding or something like that, like, or my to-do list or something. And the next thing I know, I have, like, an idea that I think is, like, a good idea. And then the next thing you know, I, like, have solved the problem. And then the next thing you know, I'm, like, really excited about these plans I have for the future. And it happens, like, every single time. But I mean, this morning I would have gotten up and gotten out and taken a 5-mile walk, and I would have had to do it. Like, have to get outside, have to go for a walk, have to write my problems down, have to come up with solutions to these problems that I think are feasible. Just to feel like I'm not freaking out? But then suddenly, like, I just got overcome with a wave of, like, "Oh, everything's fine. I don't need," and I mean, and then I got, like, cotton mouth, a little bit of cotton mouth. Um, so I can't, there's no way that there's any explanation for this other than that secondhand weed smoke drifts into my apartment and then I get high. I mean, like, right now, I'm, like, in a good mood. I'm, like, enjoying this, but I shouldn't be. I have no income. I have no money. This was just what I was thinking about before, like, literally before my neighbors woke up, like, I could hear them moving around, and then I got hit with a blast of marijuana smoke. But, like, um, before they woke up, I was, like, freaking out. I have no money. I have no income. This is like it's a bad economy. I'm like, "What am I gonna do? Oh my god, everybody hates me." And then I just saw all of a sudden, it's just like, "Hi, I don't really care. This is me." Anyways, though, but that process I was describing yesterday, where thinking about all of the problems, or just like thinking about how I don't want to be alive, and then thinking about the problems, and then coming up with some solutions, and then coming up with some good ideas, and then like being excited about life. Um, so, I'm just gonna go through this little list of to-do lists that I made here. Also, I'm attempting to use the browser use agent. Um, and I'm having problems. I don't know, this thing might have been shut down, or is this really a thing still? Okay, anyways, let's what was I doing here? Looking at my to-do list. But I mean, this is just it's something that I've struggled I mean, okay, so I've had 4 neighbors in the apartment next to me since I've been living here, and all of them have been potheads. And every single time they, smoke weed, I get high. It's been going on for years. And then when they leave and the place is vacant for a while, my whole life changes. And the one lady was definitely not smoking weed, she was smoking, like, meth. And, I was like, but, I don't know, it's just one of these things where it's like, I really shouldn't does my life need to be based around whether or not my neighbor is smoking weed? Or, like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's better this way. Maybe it's better. Alright, so anyways, um, so I should make, chatbots that are like or I should make a directory for, like, that's just like the switcher, but it's all for Chinese language chatbots. That's what I realized yesterday. I should make a system prompt that uses HTML. Oh, just like the thing that, scrapes the web HTML from website and then, makes a JSON object from it, I should make that into a chatbot, which is really like just take the file and just add like a couple of elements, just instead of echoing, it puts it in the chat history. Um, and then the same thing for the one that does that with WordPress, and then the same thing for the one that scrapes the website for existing JSON LD objects. And then I do need to make I need to make it so that it grabs the LinkedIn info from the footer of the website. I don't know why when I'm using my auto blogger, there's like these giant white space chunks at in between the title and the first paragraph. I have to fix that. I have a note here. It says, "Get really super good at sending emails," which is because I made this demo for an Australian company yesterday, and then I didn't send them an email because I went on ChatGPT and I was writing an email and it was like fill in all this blank. I was like, I gave you a blog post with all of the information you need, and you still give me this garbage back. So I didn't want to go through and like go through all that trouble. Um, but I'm just generally not good at sending emails. I don't know what to say. I don't know. It's a weird thing to say. I'm not good at sending emails. It feels like that's like not a thing. Like I don't want to spend the time to think about sending an email. That's what I mean to say. And I don't have like an automated system for. But so I don't know. If I try to automate the system, it's probably overkill. But it'll get me thinking about emails to the point where I don't even need the automated system at that point. That's one way to go about it. But ultimately, I was thinking, I should set up an SMTP server on my server, and then I can send emails. There's a lot of different things that could potentially be useful for. And then, but and then I should also make a chatbot that drafts emails for me after I make a demo, just like the one that um, where I can even link them together. The demo, the one that makes a blog post about demos, and the one that sends an email, and have much of the same information. And then ultimately, yeah, the SMTP server and the chatbot I could link together so that um, I can literally just send an email from a chatbot to the company that I just made a demo for. And what am I forgetting? I was just about to say something I totally forgot. Something about emails. Oh, right. So if there's a chatbot on my website that can send emails from my personal email account, um, then I need an authentication method because right now I have no authentication method whatsoever. But I can just have it send an email to me with like a with a code, so it solves its own problem. Um, Another thing about but it's like, yeah, with the emails, it's like, yeah, should I have a signature in there? Should it be HTML or not? Should I set up tracking or not? Like, should there be like a bunch of images in there or who cares? Like, it's just a lot to think about, and it's like, I'm trying to make chatbots, not send emails at the end of the day. So, um, okay. So, anyways, as I was like thinking about all of these things, um, and at first it was sort of like like a doom spiral, just like, oh, this doesn't work and this doesn't work, and I don't want to fix it, and I don't want to think about it, and I don't, everything is like difficult, everything is frustrating, and like every time I try to do something, there's a problem with it, and then I try to fix it, and I usually create more problems, and like I just tired, I don't want to do it, and I don't want to look at the computer, and blah blah blah. But anyways, as I was walking, and then and then I started thinking of like the solutions to these problems, and then I was like, okay, actually, you know what? This isn't going to be that hard. There's like solutions, blah blah. Um, and then I started thinking about um, with like opportunities, moving from problems to opportunities, and then the opportunity that I started to think about was SEO, because a week or two ago I was really excited about SEO. I was like really excited about it. I don't know how else to describe it. Was like hyper focused. SEO is the thing. It's the thing. And it's not, like traditional SEO. It's like the new, like SEO is what is being most impacted by AI at the moment. And it's because people have changed the way they search, and now they're using AI to search. And that has changed the way SEO agencies need to do business. It has changed the way they need to, every aspect of the SEO business needs to change. And I need to help SEO agencies, or my plan is to work with SEO agencies. So I need to know how they're business is changing and how to interact with them and how to communicate with them. And obviously, yesterday, I spent a lot of time working on this website. And I added a bunch of places to it, and there still is a bunch of things I need to do to make it better, but it's honestly kind of usable. I mean, it's kind of like I'm. This is like the first time. I mean, I use my chatbots to make chatbots. I do that, but this is like, and this is for like the whole plan. This is for the chatbot plan. This website here. Um, but even if it wasn't, like, it's just this is purely out of interest, purely out of enjoyment. I use this. This is the first time I've ever made a website that I personally want to use, and I use it for my own personal use, basically. It's just kind of crazy. After years of using Feedly and FeedSpot and Feeder and Google Reader before that, and the whole time I was always like, I should make my own feed reader. And like, here it is, which I can only, really do because of ChatGPT. Like, if it weren't for that, then um, making every little edit takes so long that it's just not worth it to keep on moving it forward. Anyways, so let's just, I have a whole bunch more of these to add as well. Which one did I add yesterday? I think I added Baltimore is definitely a new addition. But I think the adfirm.net, I think, should not be listed in Baltimore. Comrade Web should not be listed in Baltimore. Comrade Web is a Chicago company. And I think the ad firm is a San Diego company. Oops. Oh, that works. Well, definitely a California company. Zero reason they should be listed in Baltimore. Okay, anyways, so that's all glorious and everything. But what I realized, what was really bothering me and why I like had to just bail on one of yesterday's streams, which was when I was trying to talk about this blog post. Um, and the thing that was bothering me was that I had made this SEO chatbot, SEO analysis chatbot, uh, and I was using it on my own website every day. Um, and I stopped doing that because, like, I got distracted basically. Like there was an interrupt. I have kind of have these like processes, these like this ongoing. It's like okay, if you finish this process, what do? You make a demo. Everything starts with making a demo. So what do you do when you make a demo? Like when I make a demo, then I have to like revisit each of the types of chatbots that I make: the RAG bot, the feed bot, the post making bot. The so I have to like review my process for making them, test out the result, make a video, send an email, and then the idea is that after I finish that for the day or whatever, I do my own SEO on my website using the SEO analysis bot. Um, but I kind of got interrupted by a couple of just like intense coding tasks, just like 3 or 4 days of like very focused coding on a specific task. First with like the browser, first with automating the creation of the feed bots and the yeah, the feed bots and the post making bots, and then with the browser bots and attaching the browser bots to the feed bots, building the browser bots, and then making the JSON object like being able to the three things: use the WordPress content, use the HTML, and then like scan for pre-existing JSON objects. Right. So anyway, so I got like really like interrupted. The whole process got interrupted, which is fine because the idea of the process is that it's all very like one thing leads to the next like logically. So you don't have to remember to do all sorts of different things. Like it's just automatic. Like if you don't have anything to do, you make a demo. If you're making a demo, you have to review the process of each of these chatbots. Then you have to test these chatbots. Then you have to then you have to make a video. Then you have to make a blog post. Then you have to send an email. Then you have to make a phone call. Um, so like the part that wasn't very like established or like it doesn't flow logically was the working on my website's SEO and like and using this SEO analysis bot. Um, however, it's very important that I use the SEO analysis bot. Like it was really bugging me, but I didn't realize that that was what was bugging me. Um, to not use the SEO analysis bot because um, it's not really that it's not really that the bot is good. That the bot is going to improve my SEO. It's not really that it's that important for my website to even have good SEO. Um, and the bot is not good. It's definitely not about that. And it's not necessarily about improving the bot. It's mainly about incrementally improving the bot. Because as long as I'm incrementally improving it, it will eventually be good. And if it's eventually good, then my website SEO will also eventually be good, assuming I'm using it on my own website. But then there's like two other aspects to this, which is that if I'm reading about SEO and I'm learning about it and I'm using that to help my communication with SEO agencies, then all of my reading and my learning should be reflected ultimately in this bot. So it's sort of like the codification of my learnings. It's the proof that I have learned something. It's the ability to demonstrate that I understand this about SEO and it's modern SEO. And so like SEO for AI, GEO, we could even call it. Um, and then ultimately, it's potentially the thing that is going to be most useful, most interest grabbing to SEO agencies, and then yeah, like most useful. But yeah, it's like a tool that like if it was truly good enough, like the SEO agencies would actually want to use this tool or to like brand it under their name. Um, so it's sort of like I can learn all I want to learn about SEO. I can read as many articles as I want to read. I can um I don't know, work on other like integrate like I can improve the what my website SEO as much as possible, or like incorporate SEO enhancements to my blog writing bot or to this or to that or the other thing. But like nothing has traction unless I'm using that chatbot, because that chatbot is the demonstration of like my SEO abilities and my ability to turn SEO abilities into a chatbot. It's like the proof. That's where the pudding's at. And again, for like in terms of communicating with people, in terms of fixing the SEO on my website, blah blah. So it's just really important that I use that every day, and that I'm constantly evaluating it and thinking about why does it suck and how should it be better, and which elements that I've learned about SEO needs to be incorporated into it. Um, so that was just like my big revelation yesterday. It was like, ah, yes, I have this SEO analysis bot, and I think about it occasionally, and then all I think about is A, it sucks. B, um, it's annoying to think about how to trigger it, because I either have to like list it in every single demo or make it triggered by the FAQ bot, and then it's like I kind of wanted to get rid of the FAQ bot and just use that manifest as the FAQ. So how does that work? And I don't know, it's just like sort of a pain in the ass to think about. And so I just don't. But on the other hand, there's like a whole different set of reasons that I just went over as to why it's like really essential to everything that I'm doing. And I have to remember to use it every day. I have to remember to use it on my website every day. And that's just for the sake of improving my website, and even more so for the sake of improving that chatbot. The hell? I just got a notification from ChatGPT about making progress on my uh, update on recurring tasks. There we go, which was very timely. It's the perfect time to discuss it. Absolute perfect time to go through it all. But then it's disappeared. Anyways. I mean, I just want like food and alcohol and cigarettes and generally to goes and dos de la vida. Uh, because I'm high right now. I'm high on weed. And I didn't smoke any or ingest any. It's just in the fucking air. Uh, Whereas normally, I would just be panicking. I would just be in a state of just complete fucking panic about my lack of money and lack of income, and that I need to get this business going. But instead, I'm like, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. Yeah. So I need to work on that SEO bot. I need to have that be part of the process. So that's part of the process. You make a demo, make multiple demos, make however many demos, whatever. I think maybe like ideally I would make like one. I would choose like multiple markets. I think ideally I would make like one demo in the US, one demo Australia, one demo either Hong Kong or Taiwan every day. So like 3 demos per day, and then um, I switch over to working on my SEO. Wait, did I say 3? No, 1 US, 1 Australia, 1 Hong Kong, 1 Taiwan. 4 demos every day, ideally, and then switch to working on my SEO. That's a great plan. I would love to do that one. And then when I switch to doing my SEO, the first step is to use the SEO analysis chatbot to do something. You know, evaluate my website, evaluate a web page, evaluate something. All right. Anyway, so let's see. What did I remind myself of? The manifest should be the FAQ, be the web form. That's exactly what I was just talking about. And then if you give it a, give it as much self-awareness as possible. And then if it has a lot of self-awareness, it should actually be good at switching. And then use that manifest as a template for demos. Use that manifest as a template for demos. Yeah, okay. It took me a second to figure out what I even meant by that, but I just mean like if I have a good manifest, then I use that for the next time I make a demo, I use that as a template, and then I build on that. For completed demos, make a video and a blog post. For demos with a blog post, send an email. For demos where email has been sent, make a call to follow up. In call, consider offering JSON LD objects if they are lacking. Consider offering a guest blog post for backlink purposes, and otherwise pitch them on a white label chatbot partnership. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole plan. But you notice I didn't specifically mention use the SEO chatbot, which I need to do. And I also, I made like 2 demos that I haven't made a call for yet. One is the Australia. I didn't send an email to the Australian company, and then I didn't call the Taiwan company. And then, as just stated, I would like to make 4 demos today. 1 for US, 1 for Australia, 1 for Taiwan, 1 for Hong Kong. But I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm gonna just fuck off, apparently, because I just don't want to be in front of the computer or something. I need to try to go be a human being for a minute, which is pointless. I can't be a human being. I don't have any money. It costs money to be a human being. Add a thing. Um, Add use SEO analysis chatbot to the list. Why did you add extra shit? Also, this list isn't even clickable. So it's totally pointless. Oh, that's pretty much that. Okay. But what I will do, for whatever reason, one thing I'm very motivated to do is to just clear out um my bookmarks on X. And the reason to clear out my bookmarks on X is, for starters, because I realized that Google Save is a better Pocket replacement than X bookmarks. And that's great. However, um, yeah, so if I'm like if I'm I built this page that has all these SEO feeds, and then I'm like looking at all these SEO articles, I'm learning all about SEO. If I don't if I'm just saving the articles, basically, not actually reading them. If I don't at some point process them, then it is pointless to be constantly increasing the number of articles that I have saved. But anyways, right now I would like to clear out. There's a lot, so I might not be able to do it right now. But I want to clear out all of my bookmarks on here, and that way I know that if I'm looking to process those articles, which again, there's no reason to be sifting through a million of them and saving them if I'm not going to process them at some point. But if I'm going to process those, then uh, I want to know that I can just go to the Google saved and I don't have to mess around with these X bookmarks. I really want a cigarette. The thing about when I'm high on weed, I just compulsively want cigarettes, and then when I smoke them, I don't like them. Like, I get nothing from them. There's no feeling. There's no enjoyment of it. And then when I'm not under the influence of a bit of marijuana friendly fire, um, then like there's only two. Either I really want a cigarette, and when I smoke it, I really enjoy it. Like, it's just like, oh, thank God, holy shit, I needed that, right? Or what happened? I said, like, I'm thinking about my problems, and then I come up with something that I consider to be like the solution to my primary problem in life, and then I'm hyper focused on that, and then I don't want any cigarettes at all because they're a waste of time. Because every single second I can be hyper focused on this thing, which is the best thing that I can be doing. Um, and so that's basically how I've been able to quit smoking cigarettes many times, and then despite the irony of that statement, and not have it wasn't like a thing. It wasn't difficult. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to make a decision. I just don't want to smoke cigarettes because they're a waste of time. And I'm like busy moving forward every single second of every single day. And then I get drunk and then I want cigarettes. But but yeah, when I'm high on weed, I just want cigarettes constantly. Even if I just finished smoking it when I want another one. And I don't actually enjoy them at all. So it's just like this compulsive, it's just like, okay, do this, now do this, now do this, now do this, now do this. Just like insane ADD. That's really what it is. When I'm high on marijuana, it's just it takes my normal ADD and just ramps it up times 10. So and it makes it impossible for me to code. Although sometimes that's good because like I can just sometimes if I just have a conversation with ChatGPT and then tell it to generate the code, that actually is a million times better than me trying to create the code one step at a time. Okay, anyways, let's see here. I'm trying to get rid of these bookmarks. That's the main goal here. Ah, yes, you can put comments in JSON schema. All right, I'm gonna unbookmark this. As much as I don't want to forget this, um, I think like most of the time the schema is in a it's in the code. I mean, you can put a comment, just comment in the code, I guess. Computer use browser. Do you work computer use browser? I don't know. cua.browserbase.com. Let's try it one more time. Oh, this is powered by the computer use model preview. I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't think this thing works anymore. That's crazy because I knew that there was such a thing, and then it was like, what happened to it? Oh. All right, I'll leave that in there and just, maybe in a week or so. All right, that's fine. Let's skip through all these images. Um, AI agency, done. Don't care. I used to feel like compulsive that it was like I had to, anytime that somebody used the word AI agency, I had to save it or click it or link it or do it something with it. I don't feel that way anymore. He's gonna put up a repo? No, thanks. All right, we're good on that. All right, I think the reason for saving this one was because I mean, this is like just a pitch for my review bots, basically. Encourage reviewers to naturally mention your key. Been sharing this whole time. Encourage your reviewers to naturally mention your keywords. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what the review bots do. But whatever. I think we got that. I should just skip everything that isn't an article, but yeah, okay. I understand. Um, okay, I understand what the MCP is now, so we're all good. New AI tools you should try. I'm good. Is I don't even know why oh right. I think I'm gonna do instead of actually reading any of these, I'm just gonna open them and save them to Google Saved. That's a great idea. That's I think ultimately I would. I mean, the next thing for that, for the Feedbots website is I need to figure out a way to mark things as read. Otherwise, I'm reading the same article titles over and over again. All right, here we go. Add that. Hey yo. Interesting. I can just add the Twitter, but do I trust that to not disappear? You know, honestly, for all these, don't, if I lose it, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be a big deal. It's just a compulsive thing that I am even doing this. Well, this is boring. Maybe I should, I could always start reading the first one.
psychology of scannable content and bullet points. Table of contents. Your content has 15 seconds. That's it. In those precious moments, your reader's brain makes a critical decision: scan or abandon. The statistics are sobering. Users read only 20–28% of website content, spending an average of 15 seconds on a page before deciding whether to stay or leave. Yet many content creators still write as if their audience will consume every carefully crafted sentence from start to finish. Key takeaways. Readers scan content in 15 seconds, favoring scannable formats like bullet points for quick comprehension. Research shows that effective scannable content enhances cognitive processing and engages readers better. Key factors like motivation, task type, and focus determine how deeply someone will read your content. Mobile usage has reshaped reading habits, increasing demand for short, structured, and scannable content. To create scannable content, writers should respect cognitive patterns and optimize content structure with clear visuals. The reality. Your readers aren't reading, they are scanning, which is why scannable content becomes important. This isn't a failure of modern attention spans or a sign that people don't value quality content. It's neuroscience in action. The human brain has evolved sophisticated pattern recognition systems that help us quickly identify relevant information while filtering out the noise. And do you know what the most potent triggers for this system are? The humble bullet point. When readers encounter well-structured bullet points in your blog piece, their brains release small hits of dopamine, the same neurotransmitter associated with completing tasks and achieving goals. This is a biological reward system that makes scannable content easier to process and pleasurable to consume. Understanding the cognitive psychology behind how people process information isn't just academic curiosity.
Bullet points release dopamine. Bullet points release dopamine. That's the idea there. Oh God. I don't know. I guess maybe it's maybe just my brain works too differently than other people's, because that does not happen for me. Quite the opposite. Bullet points release cortisol for me. I'm just like, God, just say the thing. Make a good point. Don't, I don't know. But this is how I consume my, oh shit. Clicked away from it.
It's also the key to creating content that converts, engages, and serves your audience's actual reading behaviors. Tools like Yoast AI Summarize feature recognize this reality, helping content creators quickly identify and restructure their essential points into the scannable formats readers crave. The scanning habits of our brain. The myth of linear reading. If you believe your readers start at the top of your content and methodically work their way through each paragraph, you're operating under a dangerous misconception. Eye-tracking research from the Nielsen-Norman Group reveals that people don't read online content, they scan it in predictable patterns. It is one of the most common reading patterns. Readers scan horizontally across the top, make a second horizontal scan partway down, then scan vertically down the left side. Layer cake pattern. This includes scanning headings and subheadings. Spotted pattern. Jumping to specific words or phrases that catch attention. This isn't laziness, it's cognitive efficiency at its best. Our brains are wired to seek the path of least resistance when processing information. In a world where we're bombarded with more content than we could ever consume, scanning helps us quickly identify what deserves our full attention. Cognitive load theory explains why this happens. Our working memory can only hold about 5 to 9 pieces of information at once. When content is presented in dense paragraphs, our brains work harder to extract meaning, creating mental fatigue that leads to abandonment. Factors that determine reading depth. Not all scanning is created equal. 4 key factors determine whether someone will scan briefly or dive deeper into your content. When readers desperately need specific information, like troubleshooting a technical problem, they'll invest more cognitive resources in careful reading. But for general browsing, they'll skim for signals of value. Fact-finding missions like researching product features create different reading behaviors than exploratory browsing. Task-oriented readers scan for specific data points, while browsers scan for interesting concepts. A reader juggling multiple browser tabs while checking their phone will scan differently than someone in a quiet environment dedicated to learning. Multitasking reduces the cognitive resources available for deep processing. Some people are naturally deep readers who prefer narrative content, while others are chronic scanners who gravitate toward lists and summaries. Age, education, and cultural background all influence these preferences. The impact of mobile evolution on content consumption. Smartphone usage hasn't just changed where we consume content, it's rewired how we process information. The average smartphone user checks their device 96 times daily, creating a constant state of partial attention that makes scanning the dominant reading mode. Mobile screens compress information into narrow columns, overwhelming traditional paragraph structures. This physical constraint has trained our brains to prefer thumb-friendly content architecture, short paragraphs, frequent subheadings, and plenty of white space. The impact transcends mobile devices. Desktop readers now expect the same scannable formats they've grown accustomed to on their phones. Content that doesn't accommodate these evolved reading behaviors feels dated and inaccessible. The psychology behind bullet points. Understanding why bullet points work so effectively requires a quick look at how your brain processes information. When you encounter a wall of text, your mind has to work overtime to extract the key points, organize the information, and remember what matters. Bullet points do this heavy lifting for you, turning complex information into digestible chunks that your brain can process with minimal effort. 1. The mental burden relief of cognitive load reduction. Bullet points aren't just visually appealing, but also easy to scan. They're cognitive performance enhancers. When information is presented in bullet format, our working memory can process it more efficiently because each point operates as a discrete unit. Research in cognitive psychology shows that structured information reduces the mental effort required for comprehension. This creates what researchers call cognitive ease, a state where information feels more trustworthy and credible simply because it's easier to process. The famous 7 plus or minus 2 rule, also known as Miller's Law, explains why bullet points work so well.
So this is the screen reader app from Google. I didn't know it existed, and ever since Pocket has disappeared, I've been needing something to replace it, and this is good that there's a thing. It's good that it exists, but it is driving me fucking crazy how long it pauses. It pauses between sentences. It pauses between paragraphs. It pauses in the middle. It just randomly pauses, and it seems like if you're using your phone or if you're scrolling or touch whatever, then it will like pause less. And so that's great, but then it just seems like it's just random. There's just no way to keep it from these really long pauses. And then like if you put it on faster, like this is 1.5x speed right here, then it's like it's weird because it's like these little it's like the worst rhythm that you could possibly imagine. It's just like really, really fast, long pause. So that's really annoying, and there's no way like to set that in the settings. There's no like setting option. Oh, and then apparently it just stopped. That's very annoying. I don't know where I was.
The psychology of scannable content. And a discrete piece of information. All points are roughly equivalent in importance, and the data can be consumed in any order. Explain why this works so well. Our brains use proximity, related items grouped, similarity, consistent formatting signals, related content, and continuation, visual flow guides attention to organize information efficiently. Bullet points leverage all 3 principles simultaneously. This predictability reduces cognitive anxiety. Readers don't need to invest mental energy figuring out how information is organized. They can focus entirely on processing the content. 3. The psychology of completion. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of bullet point psychology is how it triggers our brain's reward system. Each bullet point creates a task that can be completed simply by reading. This completion triggers a small dopamine release, the same neurotransmitter associated with crossing items off a to-do list. Our brains create psychological tension around incomplete tasks, making them more memorable than completed ones. Bullet points cleverly exploit this by creating multiple small completion opportunities within a single piece of content. This neurological reward system explains why people find lists inherently satisfying. We're not just consuming information, we're experiencing a series of small accomplishments that make reading feel productive and rewarding. 4. Visual breathing room. White space isn't space, it's cognitive breathing room. Dense paragraphs create visual clutter that triggers stress responses in our brains, making content feel overwhelming before we even begin reading. Bullet points introduce strategic white space that gives our visual processing system room to operate. This breathing room prevents cognitive overload and makes content more approachable and manageable. Eye movement research shows that readers' gaze patterns follow predictable paths through well-spaced content. White space guides attention naturally, creating a visual rhythm that supports comprehension rather than fighting against it. The science of information processing. Working memory and executive function. Working memory is the temporary storage system where we manipulate information while processing it. Unlike long-term memory, which has virtually unlimited capacity, working memory can only handle a few items simultaneously. Bullet points support working memory by presenting information in pre-chunked units. Instead of extracting key points from dense paragraphs, a task that requires executive function resources, readers can directly process the distilled information. Research comparing narrative versus expository text comprehension shows structured formats consistently outperform traditional paragraphs for information retention and comprehension speed. The brain's executive functions can focus on understanding content rather than organizing it. This is particularly important for complex or technical information. When cognitive resources are allocated efficiently, readers can engage with more sophisticated concepts without experiencing mental fatigue. The discrete thought advantage. Each bullet point functions as a self-contained information unit, allowing for what cognitive scientists call discrete processing. Unlike paragraphs, where ideas build upon each other sequentially, bullet points can be processed independently. This creates a mental reset opportunity between points. Readers can fully process one concept before moving to the next, preventing cognitive overload when multiple ideas compete for working memory space. Like comparing building a tower paragraphs versus collecting individual blocks. Building requires awareness of the entire structure, while collecting allows focus on each piece. Speed versus comprehension. Critics often argue that scannable content sacrifices depth for speed, but research suggests a more nuanced reality. Studies show that bullet formats can improve comprehension for certain types of information while dramatically increasing processing speed. The key match is the format of the content type. Bullet points excel for factual information, feature lists, and step-by-step processes. They are most effective for narrative content, complex arguments, and emotional storytelling. In research studies, retention rates for structured information consistently outperform unstructured text. The sweet spot appears to be content that balances scanning speed with information density, exactly what effective bullet points achieve. This is where AI-powered tools like Yoast AI Summarize feature become invaluable. They can analyze dense content and identify the key points that would benefit from bullet formatting, helping writers optimize speed and comprehension without sacrificing essential nuances. The hierarchy of scannable elements. The content ecosystem. Bullet points are not isolated components, they're part of a broader ecosystem of scannable elements that work together to create user-friendly content. An effective scannable design incorporates multiple layers of visual hierarchy. Headings and subheadings serve as navigation anchors, allowing readers to identify relevant sections quickly. They're the highway signs of content, helping people find their destination without reading every word. Numbers and statistics act as attention magnets, drawing the eye with their specificity and authority. Our brains are wired to notice numerical information, making stats powerful tools for engagement. Bold text and formatting provide visual cues that guide attention to key concepts. Strategic emphasis helps readers identify the most important information without overwhelming the overall design. White space ties everything together, preventing visual overcrowding and giving each element room to breathe. The silence between notes makes music coherent. Choosing from lists and other formats. Different content types call for different scannable formats. Understanding when to use each format prevents the monotony of bullet point overuse while optimizing for specific communication goals. 1. They excel for features, benefits, and key takeaways where order doesn't matter. They're perfect for highlighting multiple advantages or listing unranked options. These lists work best for processes, rankings, and sequential information. They provide clear progression and help readers track their position within the content. Ideal for comparisons and data-heavy content. They allow readers to scan vertically and horizontally, facilitating quick comparisons across multiple variables. An essential storytelling instrument, context building, and complex arguments requiring narrative development. The key is using them strategically rather than defaulting to them automatically. The usage hasn't just changed screen sizes, it's fundamentally altered how we consume content. Thumb scrolling creates different engagement patterns than mouse-based navigation, favoring content that works with natural thumb movements. The thumb-friendly hierarchy prioritizes easily tappable elements and accommodates one-handed usage. This means shorter sections, more frequent headings, and content designed for vertical scrolling rather than horizontal scanning. Responsive design psychology goes beyond technical implementation. It requires understanding how reading behaviors change across devices and optimizing content structure for each context. Implementing psychology-driven content. Knowing the science behind scannable content is one thing, putting it into practice is another. The good news. You don't need a psychology degree to create content that respects how your readers' brains work. With a few strategic adjustments to your writing process, you can transform dense, intimidating content into clear, engaging material that people actually read and act on. Here's how to make the psychology work for you. The Content Creator's Checklist. Analyze your audience's attention constraints and reading context. Are they researching solutions under pressure, browsing casually, or seeking deep understanding? This determines your optimal scannable structure. Identify natural breaking points during writing where concepts shift or new ideas emerge. These transition moments are perfect for bullet points, subheadings, or formatting changes supporting scanning behaviors. Simulate scanning behavior by reading only headings, first sentences, and formatted elements. Does the content still make sense and provide value? If not, restructure to serve better scanning readers. Tools and techniques. One of the most potent tools for revealing reader attention patterns, showing where scannable elements succeed or fail. This data helps optimize formatting for real usage rather than theoretical best practices. A one-of-the-kind testing methods that is used for content structures and can also include card sorting exercises, first impression tests, and task-based evaluations. They reveal how well your formatting serves actual reader goals. Respecting your reader's brain. Understanding the psychology of scannable content isn't about manipulating readers, but about respecting how their brains process information. Everyone wins when we create content that works with cognitive patterns rather than against them. Readers get information they can consume efficiently without sacrificing comprehension. Content creators build trust and engagement by serving their audience's genuine needs rather than forcing outdated consumption models. The competitive advantage goes to those recognizing that effective content serves the reader's brain, not the creator's ego. Attention is the scarcest resource, so content that respects cognitive limitations while delivering genuine value will consistently outperform material that ignores psychological realities. Ready to implement these insights with Yoast SEO? Start by auditing your existing content through a psychological lens. Look for opportunities to break up dense paragraphs, add scannable elements, and create the visual breathing room that modern readers crave. Your audience's brains and content performance will thank you.
All right, this is giving me a little bit of cognitive overload. Speaking of such a thing. And I think I'm pretty close to done here, though. September 18th. What every content leads to know about agentic AI. I'm pretty sure I can just delete that one. I don't care about that at all. I maybe did at one moment in time. How close are we? God. That is good. I'm good on that. They have been transferred. From now on, when I'm looking to process through articles, I don't have to worry about all of the articles I've shared I have saved on X because there are none. Anyways, which means it's time to find more articles. But that is, a new way of processing these articles by listening to them like that. Um, which definitely I wouldn't want to do for all of them. Some of them you really want to process, like make sure you're learning the things that are in there. But when there's like a topic where it's like I'm kind of just like scanning to make sure there's nothing in there that is new. That's all. It's like as long as it's not saying anything new. And then the other thing is like um like these are articles written and posted on websites of companies that I want to work with. Like I literally might want to work with the author of that article. And so like it's just a way of like sort of keeping up to date on like what they're posting and yeah, what topics they're discussing and like getting to understand where they're focused and then helps me potentially know how to discuss how to talk with them. Um, so like a lot of it is like I don't really have to like pay a huge amount of attention to the article, but I just want to get the general gist of it. Um, and in this case, like if I really want to work on these articles while also um, giving my legs and my eyes a break from the computer, I can actually go for a walk and listen to those articles. People are like, "How can you stand the voice? The voice is so annoying." When it's like when you're focused on the information, then you don't even notice the voice. Measuring when AI assistants and search engines disagree. All right, I don't know. It's in here. I mean, this Google Save thing it is too many clicks. On my phone, I can just share it to Google Saved. So that's exactly the way Pocket used to work. So that's fine. But this is the only way I can do it on the Computer is like it's a multi-clicks, copy click, copy paste, blah blah. It's annoying. There's certain things that I just can't not click on. Like this one, ChatGPT SEO, how to get side data answers. I promise you, I already know everything about that. Everything they're gonna say in there, I've already heard 100 times. But I just have, I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed. Google AI mode tests different colored pin map pins. Google is testing using different colored map pins in the map embedded in the Google, within Google AI mode. My pins can be red, blue, yellow, or maybe orange. I had no idea that they were monocolor up until now. Google is testing showing an AI mode history button within the local panel in Google search. When you're viewing a specific business or organization, there may be an AI mode button in a history enclosure under the call directions buttons. What? All right, this is in the schema discussing the types of schema that he would prefer. That's 100% my thing. I can't skip that. Wait, but it's an X post? Oh my God. Am I following this person on X? Probably. That is one thing I do not want, is to be saving X posts to the Google saved. I'm following him. That was annoying because I'm probably gonna lose where I was at, and I should have bookmarked that and then moved it away from whatever. Um, Adobe is basically releasing an SEO tool. That's kind of crazy. Ha, and you all said backlinks were dead. I'm definitely gonna have to take a look at that one. Forget SEO. Welcome. I'm almost want to click on that and save it. I already read that this morning. It was terrible. There was nothing to it. It's a very short article. I'm gonna look at it actually again because I want to miss something because you read long articles of good content. Maybe it just seemed that way because I was 14. All right, that's that. We're good on the feeds that actually generates anything I feel like saving. And honestly, they're all the things in there are also listed again here. So SEO is not a tactic, it's infrastructure for growth. To read that, although I'm very skeptical as to whether or not it's truly got a lot of value in there. At least for somebody that understands what I understand. Like, I'm not saying it wouldn't be valuable for somebody that's learning about SEO. I mean, and I'm learning about, I don't know how to. Why are brands rethinking their approach to using agencies? I don't know, but that's a good one, I think. Maybe it's just clickbait for agencies, but you know what? Uh-oh, there's another one. Oh, all right. I'm good on all of those. Analysis of 10 studies. Damn, that's a lot of studies. I feel like all of these SEO agencies can kind of you could really just use like Search Engine Journal and the other one, which is like Search Engine Marketer, and just have an automated way of chopping up their articles and turning them into blog posts. And it would accomplish exactly, maybe that is what they're already doing, but it would accomplish exactly what their posts on their blogs are trying to accomplish. Just establishing authority on the topic of SEO. That's all there is to it. So, but it's sort of like, I don't know, that was part of the blog post that I was writing about JSON LD. And it's like this SEO hacker, uh, I have a whole bunch of these SEO hacker articles, and I thought those were really great articles, but like every paragraph, at least every other paragraph there's like an infographic or like a data set or something, or like a link to a research publication, something, something solid. And then every other paragraph, just about. So, but the point is, like, whatever that solid thing is, you could easily automate the process of just stealing those and then building a new article around those. So it's just as authoritative and just as AI readable, but you automated that. Surprising insights, huh? If you say so, I'll take a look. Daily search forum recap. Another one. Another one. It's almost like they put it out every day. Oh my God. No, but I'm just surprised that it's been 3 days since I looked through these. But Google Search Console is missing October 14th. Perplexity exceeds 2%. ChatGPT is at 87%. Gemini 6.4%. Perplexity 1.7. Oh, that's from 12 months ago. Okay. But that's in terms of generative AI traffic share. All right, fine. I'll look at it. Oh, it's on X. Okay. AI search isn't the end of SEO, it's the next era. Unfortunately, I have to look at that. I hate that I have to look at that, but I have to. And I guess the idea is just I have to know whether or not it's a search engine land. That's the other one. There's search engine journal, there's search engine land. Uh, the future of SEO. There is another one that I would like to skip, but I'm not allowed. The AI Visibility Index. I think I already saw this on Twitter. I'm actually sharing Twitter right now. That's ridiculous. Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? Takeaways. Not a lot of change. DeepSeek is dropping off. Whoa, ChatGPT. Okay. From 87% down to 74%. Gemini is increasing. But I mean, at this point, it's like, should we include Google AI mode on this list? Because if we include Google AI mode on this list, then instead of generative AI traffic share being at 87% for ChatGPT, it's going to be at 90% for Google, and ChatGPT is going to be down at like 3%. And then these guys are going to be completely not worth mentioning. ChatGPT's mobile app is seeing slowing download growth and daily use. Download growth makes sense because I mean, it's like the people that want it have it, but the daily use is That if that's true, that would mean something. Inside the web infrastructure revolt over Google's AI overviews. I am curious about that one. Let's hear about it. Literally. How to grow publishing revenue in a world of declining traffic. How we're driving LLM visibility at SEMrush. I probably already have this article somewhere, saved somewhere. But I'm gonna save it again. All right, thank God that's over. Require work email is the way to improve your lead quality search. Okay, a lot of these things are things that I already looked at. And now we're into 13 days ago. All right, I think I'm just gonna mark everything as red. But where was it? How to track LLM prompts? Where'd it go? All right, I think we're done here. Nope, not Feedbots, FeedSpot. How to rank an AI search. Unfortunately, I have no choice but to save that one. But Backlink O is a pretty good publication. Search engine round table, huh? Oh, Thrive Marketing. 97% of clicks happen in the top 10 search results. Yeah, not surprising. A lot of these are the same articles that were already in the other feed reader. The 12 best cleaning company SEO agencies. I don't need this, but I'm gonna save it anyways. I can't help myself. I hope the guy who made Pocket, or I hope the guy who made FeedSpot, Agarwal, I think. I hope that he 10 studies on the impact of AI mode on SEO. I should click on that. I don't know why I'm going to click that. I'm going to skip it. Yeah, I hope the guy that made FeedSpot makes a new version of Pocket. That would be awesome because he's kind of in the realm, and it'd be good if they like connected, or at least since he would want them to like be to connect, even if they don't like even if they're not like the same app or part of the same app or perfectly connectable, like at least there's a minimum amount of friction. Black Hat SEO, that's what I'm looking for. All right, I think that's all of my SEO related feeds. Oh, link building forums. That is definitely SEO related. It's all on web. It's basically the Reddit link building. Does Reddit fully allow RSS feeds? Because that, if it does, then that would explain, it possibly might explain part of its, dominance in search. All right, that's everything. We're good here. All right, so as soon as I work through all of these Google saved things, then I'll be ready to go back to my own list of feedbots, my own website, which I have a lot of lists to add because I kept on adding lists until ChatGPT told me I'm no longer allowed to use deep research mode until the 28th. But I got Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Ireland, Columbus, Philadelphia, Denver, Baltimore. There's other ones inside of here. Those are already done. So by tomorrow, after I have finished all of these articles, I will be ready to grab more articles from those guys, and then I'll have my full process for keeping up to date with what these SEO agencies are publishing will be fully in effect, and then I just need to use my SEO analysis bot and make sure to be improving that on a daily basis. And then other than that, it's just making demos for SEO agencies and then emailing them and calling them. So everything is very much a interconnected process. That's all. That's all I gotta say. Wait a minute. How the fuck long has it not been? Did I? It says that I'm sharing. Uh, how long has it been going that it wasn't actually sharing the screen? That's, I hope it wasn't long, but whatever.